Good morning. Good morning. Good Saturday morning to all of you. I hope you are doing well this Saturday morning. It is a beautiful day down here in Georgia. The sun is shining. It's beautiful. I had to literally close, and I do that anyway, like close the curtains, so that way I can kind of control the light. But if I didn't close these curtains, man, this sun would be zooming and beaming in here, and I typically do that when I'm not live streaming and just working on some stuff. Good morning, good Saturday morning. Welcome to Podcasters Live Saturday Live Training. I'm excited to talk to you about today's topic. It's just been a lot of buzz around what we are going to be talking about today, and we're going to be talking about AI, and it is really going to be focused on Bard, which is one of the popular AIs that are out there right now, um, as well. But we are also going to be comparing it to, of course, ChatGPT. And what does that mean? How do you utilize both of those for podcasting, live streaming? Just the in overall content creation space. So when I get back, we will be talking about that and doing some comparisons and contrast and kind of going through some prompts. So get your ideas and concepts ready because I'm going to be asking you a couple of questions. All right, be back in a sec. All right. Well, good morning. Good morning once again. Super, super stoked. This Saturday live kind of spurred out of an amazing, and I want dare I say epic um, live stream. I want to say about 2 weeks ago, where I had James Hicks on, Corey Gomes, and of course the amazing Cher Jones, and we of course talked about podcasting and AI, and from there it just kind of spurred, like, just a lot of people have been asking about it. How do you use it? clients asking about it, and just kind of helping people kind of have an understanding of it, but also kind of, kind of making sure that they're not scared of it, right? Because at the end of the day, it's here, and the goal is for us to try to leverage it as much as possible. So, but before that, before we get into just a couple of housekeeping things, right? Hello to all the people over on LinkedIn, Mr. Garen. How are you doing? Good to see you over there. You guys can connect with us over on LinkedIn, and that is, of course, at Podcasters Live. On our Facebook group, we are at Podcasters Live there as well. So make sure you connect with us too. There are a lot of cool things taking place. And then connect with us at YouTube, Podcasters Live. We are everywhere, Podcasters Live as well. Couple other housekeeping things I want to do. Um, Tomorrow, I am going to be premiering this episode with Omar El Takori from Think Media, and of course the video department. I actually did this interview with him a while ago, and it was extremely well received. But I had an issue was that when I actually did the recording, it didn't go to YouTube, and so we're going to be premiering this tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. On YouTube. So make sure you go and check that out. It's a great episode because we talk about creating content with a purpose. But here's the thing, and I say this at the very beginning of the episode. If you want to talk about gear with this episode with Omar, it's not gonna be the episode for you. We are truly talking about purpose, and everything that you put out as a content creator is nothing but a byproduct of who you truly are. And so we get really deep on that type of perspective because I think the best content creators, the people who best, the ones who offer the best service, the best products, they are true to themselves and their product actually speaks for them. And so that's why I wanted to actually have that conversation with Omar about all of that as well too. The other amazing thing that we, of course, have going on is, our coaching program over there with Podcasters Live. And, we just started implementing this 90-minute, one-on-one power session where we take anything that you are possibly thinking about from a podcast or live streaming standpoint. And if you just need a jump start, if you don't need a full-blown course or coaching program, we have these 90-minute sessions to help you with your concept. We help you with your tech. And then I have this other thing at the bottom. It's called Re Jumpstart. So if you are a current live streamer or a podcaster, the idea is that, the goal is within that 90 minutes for us to help you kind of restart where you are, kind of get a perspective of what you got going on, and then also make sure that we are helping you move forward. And then from concept to creation is our coaching program where we take you through five modules, and we help you create an entire course from there. Because one of the things that we know with podcasting, even live streaming, there's this thing called pod fade, and people typically bail on their podcasts or they fall off after around 7 episodes. So we focus in on helping you create an entire season, which is 12 episodes. That automatically puts you ahead of the game as it relates to your podcasting journey, and also gives you the confidence so that you can continue to move forward. And then the last piece that we had there, of course, was, wrong one. That's what happens when you go live. The last one we had down there, of course, is a custom program. So if there's certain things that you may need that, our 90-minute power session doesn't have, or if it's just you want to focus in more intently and broadly on one aspect, then we can create a custom program for you as well. All right. One thing I like to do as well too. I think we started this last week. I'm going to continue to do it because I think I want to show you guys some perspective around this whole podcasting kind of industry, and give you a really good feel of kind of where things are too. But before I do that, I do want to say good morning to everybody that's out there. What's going on, my man Garrett? How are you doing? Good to see you. Thank you for checking us out over there on LinkedIn. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. I appreciate it. What's up, my man? What's up, my man? Tech Troublemaker was just on his show this past Tuesday, check out that episode. We talk about the future of podcasting, and it was just it was just a great conversation, man. And I love it. I love it. Three can yo. If I got the equipment, man, I got to use it, right? I got to use it, and yeah, I like that the three camera flex. I'm biting that one, man. I'm taking that one. I'm taking that one, Garen. And then of course we have Miss Sherry Jones in the building. How are you doing today? Good to see you on Equip Institute. Awesome. And then we just have some people saying hello as well. That show, okay, thank you. And thank you, Florence. She said that show was fire. And it was pretty dope. All right, let's go. The one thing I like to do is to talk about stats, just to give you some perspective, because I think we talk about podcasting and live streaming all the time. And one of the things that I always like to do is provide context for what we do, what you do, and what the industry is kind of looking like. And so we have the stats. This is from last week, right? This is from last week, and I get these stats from Podcast Index. So just think about, this is the total number of podcasts, right? Are about 4 million. Last week there, the number that was published, I always look at the 3-day. I look at the 3-day one, because that one that gives you a better perspective of like what's already kind of in the pipeline, if you will, right? 30 days, right? It's another good measurement. People actually utilize 30 days from a standard standpoint to see how many episodes you've actually had downloads for within the 30-day time frame as well. So it's an amazing way to kind of look at it. And here's the one thing too. I always want to make sure I tell this, because now we have YouTube, podcast, and Spotify, and all these other things. The best thing is, the thing I want to make sure to clarify with all of this. This is just via RSS feed, which means that these are just podcast numbers that were pushed out to all the different podcast players and platforms, right? It doesn't take into consideration what YouTube and other live streaming and video podcasts. It doesn't take that into consideration. So I want to give you a really kind of grassroots understanding and perspective of what's actually taking place in the industry. So here's the thing. If you see that number, 4,034,000, that was last week. So here's this week's number, 4,051,000. So there was about almost 20,000 new sort of podcasts that were started. And I know you're like, oh my, if you're thinking about starting a podcast, you're like, dude, really, man, that's just a lot. That's nothing. That is nothing. That is 4 million is nothing compared to the number of channels that are out that are actually on YouTube. And dare I say, it's like 150 million. I think it's even more than that, possibly. Someone could do a quick search for me, ask me how many, do a search, say how many YouTube channels are there currently. I would love to know that, so we can put that stat up there and I can stop guessing. But the other thing that I want you to understand, and this is why I want to make sure I put this up here, that you understand this piece too, is that even though there's 4 million podcasts that are out there, it doesn't necessarily mean that all of these podcasts are actually producing content consistently. Do you see the disparity? Right? If you had 4 million podcasts that are out there, 4 million podcasts that are out there, 4 million podcasts that are out there, and if they were producing once a week, just imagine that. If a podcast, the total number of podcasts, and you just had people that were consistent once a week, then these numbers would be completely bonkers, right? The 60-day numbers, the 30-day numbers, the 3-day numbers would be completely bonkers. It's not. That 140, oh my God, 30, okay, it's only 37 million. Thank you. The 114,000, you do the math on that compared to how many people are out or how many podcasts are out there. It's minuscule. It's minuscule. It's very small. And so make sure that you understand that even though there's a large number out there, there's only so many people that are actually producing podcasts and even live streams, even videos on a consistent basis. Okay? So I don't put these numbers up there to put you in fear. I put the numbers up here to help you with some perspective. So then you can kind of go forward and be like, okay, dude, there's room. There's space for me to do this. Right? Because what we do know is that there is about 45 to 50% of podcasts actually stop. They just stop. So that 4 million, you can kind of cut that in half. Now we're looking at about 2 million, maybe plus, that are actually producing consistently. Okay. All right. Just wanted to give you some of that information and context. We'll be doing that on a weekly basis just to kind of start off the show. All right. So we're talking about today. Oh, wrong one. We are talking about Bard versus ChatGPT. If you have your coffee with you this morning, please. It's early Saturday morning. I don't know where you guys are, but I'm over here on the East Coast, and I love me a good cup of coffee because I talk a lot and I need to wet my whistle. All right. So before we move into that, good morning. Good morning. How are you doing today? Good to see you. YouTube. Okay, man. Okay, I was far off. YouTube has only 37 million channels, in excess of 2 billion users. Hold up a second. Okay, and then up, this is like it's like breaking news. This just in, um, there are over 51 million YouTube channels. Right? Oh my gosh. Okay. All right. Um, YouTube has 113 million YouTube channels as of July. That's okay. 2022. And then Roy just says lots. thanks for the definitive answer, dude. I appreciate that. Roy just says lots. Thanks, dude. And then Cher says YouTube has more than 51 million active channels. Okay, that's good to know. Active. I like that word active. The numbers are all over the place. Let's say that there is a lot. Okay. there is a lot. There's a lot. Um, so true about podcast stopping. I find a podcast on the topic, and then the host stops producing content. Frustrating as a listener. It is frustrating because here's the one thing, and that's one of the reasons why we also do the 12 episode pieces to help a person build consistency within that journey. But the podcasting piece is a long tail thing. It's not quick. It takes time to build listenership, and then also it takes time for you to kind of get in the groove for your content and to find your voice, not your physical voice, but your voice and how you deliver stuff, the content that your audience wants to hear, how you deliver it, what resonates with them, what doesn't resonate. It takes some time, and so you have to be in this thing for the long haul and understand that. And a lot of people, they mismanage their expectations as it relates to this, and so podcasting is not for the faint of heart. It seems easy. Here's the thing: it is easy. The barriers to entry are super low, even with live streaming now. Both of these, right? We coach on both of these, and the barriers to entry to both are super low. You can live stream right from your phone. You can right from your phone, and you don't have to worry about it. Um, the platforms that are out there nowadays allows you to um live stream from anywhere. I have a piece of kit in my gear closet that I haven't even unboxed yet. That's a shame, and I'm gonna do it. It's called a YOLO Live Mini. That little box It's a box. I mean, literally, when I say a box, it's a box. It's like this. It's about the size of this iPad Mini, and it allows me to live stream. So the barriers of entry for live streaming, even for live streaming, have completely gone down. But it's the consistency and the ability to actually captivate your audience and create a topic that people actually want to talk about. All right, so let's go ahead and start this. We can go ahead and start. Here's the one thing I want to make sure that we talk about. What prompts? No, no, that's the wrong one. That's the first wrong. Uh-oh, I think I was muted. My bad. I think I was muted. My apologies. I think I was muted on that one. Here we go. So I'm gonna. My first question is: are you using AI in your podcast or your live stream? And if so, how? Right. And then as I was saying that, and I realized that I was muted on this slide. Is I was one of those professors that made people work when I taught in college, and you're gonna work today. So I want to know how you're using AI in your podcast or your live stream. And then the second question is, as we move forward, when we start to talk about Bard and Chat GPT, I'm going to talk a little bit about prompts, and uh, I want you to think about a prompt that you want me to provide for Bard or Chat GPT, and it'll make more sense as we continue to move forward on this one as well too. All right, so let me make sure I got the right thing here. Where am I at? All right, cool. So let's move this to Bard. Sister, and please understand this. I researched all of these. Then I just pared it down because there's just a lot of content, a lot of stuff out there, and I tried to just I pared it down in the context just to make it digestible for you as a podcaster and a live streamer. So I wanted to make sure I did that as well too. All right, so Bard, it stands for poet. It was built as a direct. I'll make sure my volume's good. As a direct rival for ChatGPT, allegedly claiming that it was trained on users' Gmail data. So, as you, and tech troublemaker, you know about some of this tech stuff more than I do. Let me you let me know if I'm off base with that research. Right, I didn't get it from like TMZ or I think it was I think it was Forbes. So I try to go to reputable, well, reputable is a loose term, but I try to go to places that I've received content from that is pretty much, solid. So there you go. There you go. So that's Bard. And then some of the pros of Bard, and this is just something I typed it in. I said, on Google, I said, give me some pros that people are saying about Bard, and this is what they're saying. I have used Bard, and I'm going to show you when we get to here. We have I have ChatGPT up, and then also have Bard up, and we are going to put in some prompts. I already put in a few prompts, and I want to show you some of those results as well too. But Bard talks about it's designed for content creators. I'm not. When I read that, I said, okay, I'm gonna put it up here for the audience, but it's kind of it sounds good in theory, but as I've used it, it's okay. It's okay in that context. Generates content in a conversational tone, user friendly interface. Now the user face is kind of it's okay, as long as we're not getting to oh my gosh. Okay, I'm dating myself again. You guys remember when everything switched over from DOS, right, to Windows? those the millennials in here, that listen to the show don't probably won't understand what I'm talking about. But those of you who remember back in the day when we switched from DOS to Windows, like what a like blew my mind. Like holy, like I can actually do this stuff. I don't have to go in this like in this kind of matrix form of computing. I actually have Windows. So when I think about the user experience, I always think about, even though certain user experiences aren't necessarily DOS, like, from back then, they can't be antiquated, right? They can't be analog. Analog is like it, uh, it's frustrating, and especially now with everything. So when you start to think about the user experiences, especially when you're trying to do with AI, you would hope that the user experience with all of them are going to be friendly. Some of the cons: accuracy issues, issues with complex topics and jargon, content generation can be limited in scope. And I think that's a fair point for all of them, right? I think that a couple of them, I'll say all of them, as they get better, they're all getting better, but I still think, and we'll talk about that. This is some of my recommendations. I still think that it's user beware. The content that you receive, and how you use that content is going to be, and the accuracy. Let me one step before I get that. The accuracy of that content, um, and does that content align with what it is that you are saying, and what it is that you are trying to put out here into the ethos, and for your audience. That's the part that's super important, that you want to make sure that you do that as well too. All right, cool. Couple of comments up here too. Um, use Bard and ChatGPT this week to generate definitions for an offering, for a client, and then put my voice on the results to finish the description. I sent it to my client. Awesome. I appreciate that. Excellent. I think that's a great way of doing it, right? You have to think about the information that you receive, right? And how can I say this? I always I always talked about this when I would teach in college. I was, teach people, as a professor. I taught them the basics, like whether it's accounting, macroeconomics, all these things. And then I would tell them, I am giving you the basis, the basic stuff. But when you get to your employer is going to tell you how they want how you should use your knowledge to help them. Okay, understand that. Even though you are getting all this education and get all this knowledge, at the end of the day, someone is still, kind of telling you how to actually dictate and implement the information and knowledge that you have. It's the same way here, right? These systems give you stuff, but the actual implementation and accuracy of what you present, that's all on you. That is 100% on you. Um, when my first computer used DOS 5.0, and then I started with Windows 3. Yeah, man, I refuse to date myself. I am a horrible date. Yeah, man, yeah. Well, you got married, so you don't need to date. You got to date your wife, but yeah, you know what I'm saying. I hear you, dude. My first computer was there you go, that Commodore, man. That Commodore, and Commodore is no joke. Very funny, Roy. We are close in age, right? It's funny. Okay, at Share Jones, my first computer was also a VIC 20. My first PC was a DOS 5. So yeah, man, everybody's putting in. If you're out here in the chats, yeah, that's cool, man. What was your first computer? And I will love to hear that. I would love to hear all of that stuff, because I think that's it's kind of cool to see, you know um those of us who are of a certain, Doc Rock says, of certain vintage, not age, but those of us who are a certain vintage, we have seen so much change as it relates to technology. It's ridiculous. It is absolutely ridiculous. From computers to televisions, right? I mean, how many of you? I'm gonna date myself again. We're gonna get back to ChatGPT and all of this stuff. I grew up with the big TV, the TV inside the furniture, right? And then when that joint broke down, it was too expensive to fix. It was cheaper to go and buy the newer model. And then guess what we did? We put it right on top of that piece of furniture because there were like these tubes, these TV tubes that you would take. Oh, it was crazy. Nowadays, um, I remember when I lived in Boston and I was moving to Central New York. This was, oh gosh, 2000. I want to say 10 or 11. I bought a 55-inch television and it was around $1,500. It was around $1,500. This is 2011. 2 years later, 3 years later, that same TV started going for like $600. So, technology is crazy, man. At Sherry Jones, same the tape the tape drive to back up my programs. Oh man, you guys are funny. You guys are funny, man. Um, TV box, yes, yes, indeed. First computer, Commodore 64. There you go. That was mine. That was mine. Curtis Mayfield, man, where you going? What you? Come on, man. What are you talk? You all over the place today, Roy. Curtis Mayfield. I'm telling you, yeah, Curtis Mayfield ain't no joke. All right, come on. Gotta keep you guys and keep you guys distracted me. No, I love you guys. I appreciate that. All right, let's talk about ChatGPT. I would dare I say the ChatGPT. I think more people have. I don't know. I don't have the numbers to back this up, but I would think that more people have probably used Curtis Mayfield TV. I would hazard a guess that more people have actually used um, ChatGPT more so than Bard. I just think it's always about, back in the day in business we talked about it all the time, first mover advantage, right? You didn't have to have the best product, and I still think it's similar to this day. You don't have to have the best product. You just sometimes you just got to be first. And I think that's what ChatGPT has actually probably been doing. It's actually got out there first as well too. So um, it stands for chat generated pre-trained transfer. It uses prompts, just like all of these, uses prompts to generate output, right? Um, higher accuracy, sophisticated, natural language generates content in a variety of formats. I don't, y- so if you put something in there, you gotta be careful of what you put in there. And I wanted to make sure that I spoke about this piece, of it because I think it's important, that we talk a little bit about the cons. Can be more complex and challenging, may not be well suited for conversational dialogue, and the pricing piece, right? The pricing piece, if you want to get four, and you want to kind of move and get rid of the congestion that a lot of people are actually utilizing the Chat GPT 3 and 3.5, I think. Then there's a 4 and a plus. Then you can kind of pay for the service, and that will allow you to kind of just bypass. It's almost kind of like, I was just talking to my daughter yesterday, and we were talking about pre-check, right? In the airport. I mean, how many of you have pre-check, right? And pre-check it's dope until everybody else starts buying pre-check, because pre-check was meant to kind of move you through the lines very quickly. And that's what ChatGPT has done, with some of their pricing models to actually help you with kind of removing some of that congestion and helping you kind of move through that piece as well too. Um, Google has two barriers to Bard. Get on a wait list. Yep, I got on a wait list. Can only use with the personal Gmail. 100%, 100%. Use, and that was my issue. When it came to that, right? You had to have a Gmail account, which of course everybody. everybody has a has a Gmail account. What's going on? Bard has one more has more current data than ChatGPT, right? It's supposed to, right? It should, because of the platform that it's built on, right? It's built on Google, so I think that it should have more kind of current data because of everything that it's actually pulling from, and I think ChatGPT pulls from a similar source, but I would almost I would almost hazard a guess, and this is just the I love spy movies, I love espionage, all of that stuff, and I always feel I know there's a and I know there's a whole bunch of corporate espionage that takes place. A lot of people don't understand, and patents and stealing of content and data and all of these other things. And I dare I say that they've probably reduced some of that congestion that ChatGPT, but ChatGPT still kicks out some solid content and some solid information, man. So those two are some of the issues. Let me make sure I'm actually on the right. I got the right thing going on here, guys. All right, cool. I'm good to go. So we did that. Compare and contrast, real quick. Bard is more focused on content creators. That's what it says. That's what the research says. ChatGPT offers a wider range of capabilities beyond content creation. 100% agree with that. Um, Another compare and contrast. Bard is a conversational, suited for dialogue, and ChatGPT can generate content in various formats. 100% agree with that. And you guys let me know as I kind of go through some of these things. If I'm lying, or if I'm telling the truth, and if you've actually used it and you've actually seen some of these results in utilizing some of this AI, please make sure. I also want to know what format of content that you ask ChatGPT and Bard to kind of spit out for you, and I'll talk about that here in a second. Right after I get past this last one, compare and contrast. Bard may be more accessible for users, from a beginner standpoint. Also, if you have a Gmail account, just like Florence said, it allows you easier access to code and get in there and get started. ChatGPT may require more technical expertise. I don't know. I saw that one. I'm going to put it up here because to get the most out of it, you will have to use prompts, right? And I wanted to add this in here. I am no prompt engineer. I'm not. I'm just Steve, and I research stuff, and I take it and I try to put it in a digestible form for you. So prompt engineering, the idea is that, of course, it starts with a task, for the AI to perform. The more descriptive and detailed the prompt, the better the results, in theory, right? Because it all depends on what you want to get out from a results standpoint. And as I asked you guys, start putting in the chats now a couple of um, ideas for a podcast or a live stream, and we're gonna generate a couple of prompts together. And with whether it's gonna be on Bard, and we're gonna use ChatGPT at the same time. And I really want to see what the results are. So that's going to be kind of cool. We got time to do that as well too. So there is a whole course on Udemy, and Corey Gomes sent it to me on prompt engineering. I'm not saying that you actually have to take a course on prompt engineering. I'm not even saying that. But if you want to get the most out of some of this stuff, this AI, you have to understand how to utilize it properly. Here is my own perspective. I think there are a lot of people using it, but they're using it at, I think there's levels to this thing. And I think that it's just there's 5 levels, that the fifth level being like the highest as it relates to prompt engineering and being able to craft prompts that give you exactly what you want. I am of the opinion that people are still at probably level 1, maybe level 2. getting, give me a list of this. Give me 12 titles of this, right? And those are fine if that's what you want. I'm completely okay with that. But it's when you want to go a little deeper with what you've actually already kind of generated, and then get more kind of information and detail, and then kind of utilize that and extract it, and then bring it out, and then kind of make that even your own. I am also of the opinion is that the deeper you go, the more the results start to sound like you. I know it's AI, so please bear with me, because the more information that you give it about whatever it is that you are trying, the results that you are trying to generate, and you are giving it based off of your content, your profession, your expertise, right? I want it to sound like this. I want it to have this type of tone. I wanted to take into consideration these different pieces. The deeper you go, it starts to sound more like you. Now, if I'm wrong, you let me know that. But this is my own perspective, and it's actually worked for me, as it relates to that. The deeper I go, the more the content, the results start to sound like Steve. All right. So here, I wanted to give you this too. So this is long. I didn't write this. I actually asked ChatGPT to give this to me, and this is what I said. I said, give me an example of a good prompt and a bad prompt. Um, for what was it for? It was like it's for my retail leadership podcast. I said, give me an example of a good prompt versus a bad prompt. I know you're probably like, well, dude, the good prompt is like, I might as well just write the whole thing myself, right? It's super long. Um, but just look at the difference. Look at the difference. Let's start with the bottom and go to the top, right? So a bad prompt: create a 4-episode season on retail leadership. The episodes should be about things like leadership, teamwork, customer service. Da da da. Okay, that's not bad. That's not bad. But here's a little more detail. You're a retail a leadership consultant, tasked with creating a 4-episode season, on the topic of retail leadership. Each episode should focus on a specific aspect of retail leadership. Da 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 da. Your goal is to provide practical and actionable advice. Da 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 da. You should also incorporate real life examples and case studies to illustrate your points. I mean, here's the thing. Here's what we're gonna do. I just thought about this. We are going to utilize these prompts. I mean, I see we have a couple other prompts that are actually just kind of popped up too. I'm going to start with these prompts. I didn't use these prompts yet in anything. I just asked ChatGPT to actually give me these, and I want to utilize these prompts in ChatGPT as well too. So, just real quick, I wanted to talk about this too. Just some ways to leverage it: conversational content, um, global reach with ChatGPT. When I think about you know um, your content creation, I I think about not just thinking about your content or your live stream or your podcast as a domestic product, right? Or a domestic service. I want you to think about, and I'm going to do a whole episode on this one too, on how to think internationally with everything that you put out there, because the barriers of expansion are gone, right? With the internet, with live streaming, with all they're gone. We don't have to worry about that. So it would behoove you to think about delivering your content and thinking about your business from a global standpoint. Here in America, we are so focused on just delivering stuff that Americans would like. That's understandable. I get that. But man, especially from a podcasting and live streaming standpoint, the world, the world is your oyster, as they say. 100%. There are so many countries out there that are longing for your content and your information. And if you don't position yourself to be able to connect with those people in different countries and different regions, shame on you. You should be thinking about your content in that way. 100%. If you're not, please start to make sure that you are actually thinking about your content and from a global standpoint, because I think we're selling ourselves short when we do that. All right, cool. So we have a couple of different prompts. So let's wrong one. Let's do this. Let's go ahead and do this. Let's rock this out. We actually have a couple of prompts people are that have put up this year. Learning to use a tool effectively is a productivity tip. Learn in order to reduce the time investment to achieve 100%, 100%, 100%. And then Ms. Sherry Jones says, I use it to help me update, my speaking agreement. Lately, I've been using ChatGPT 4 as an editor, a second opinion, and ideas after I get my first thoughts on paper. 100%. Right. Here's the thing. You start. You already start. With an idea before you even put it in there. And that's your own idea. It's not an idea that ChatGPT created for you, right? Not until you put it in there and then it'll generate the idea or the results of the idea. But you already start with your own brand, your own audience, your own content pillars or whatever in mind. And then guess what? Now you actually just go ahead and put it in ChatGPT and hopefully it'll start to generate ideas and content that will continue to resonate with your audience as well. All right, let's go ahead and do this because I want to make sure that so what I did here was I want to make sure I get this. I want to make sure I get this piece real quick here. So what I did here, this was me playing around earlier today. And let me know if you guys can see this, on your screen, and it's actually showing up okay. I'm trying to be very sensitive to this so that you guys can see. So what I did was, I think it starts at the bottom. No, where did it start? No, it started here. I actually said create a list of 10 prompts. This is in ChatGPT. It said create a list of 10 prompts that a podcast and live streamer would use to generate solid content for their episode. So right, what it did was it really just ended up giving me a list of stuff. This isn't a list that I would necessarily use for content. But then what I did was I got a little deeper. I went a little deeper, and I said, well, create a list of detailed ChatGPT prompts to be used in ChatGPT that a podcast and live streamer would use to generate da 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 da. The results were a little better, right? They're a little more exhaustive than the prior ones. If you can kind of see, these are the first results. These are the second results. Then I went a little deeper again, right? I said, create a list of 10 detailed prompts I can use in ChatGPT for a podcaster and live streamer that would generate solid content for their episodes. The prompts need to be in a question form, detailed approach from a seasoned podcaster and live streamer perspective, and generate a high quality result. So as you can see, I went fairly deep, and the results that you see here now are a lot more robust than these first ones. You can see that. Look at the difference between, create a list of detailed ChatGPT prompts. So when I went deeper, guess what I found? And this goes directly to, which one is it? Sorry. My apologies. This goes directly to this right here around, creating a good prompt versus a bad prompt. How many of you right now would look at the bad prompt and be like, yo, that's me. That's what I do. That's where I'm at. I'm okay. I'm not saying that you got to live where, the good prompt is, but I just want to know where you see yourself right now as it relates to kind of your your prompt game. Let me know where you stand with your prompt game at. Are you are you at the good prompt level, or are you at the bad prompt level? Because I just want to, hopefully this is helping you guys out. And let me know if this is helping you guys out. If you're getting some value out of this, as my man Walter Strong always says, if you're getting some value out of this, let me know. That's my man. I can't do Walter's voice, man, but he always says that. Love my man. But if you're getting value out of this, please, yeah, go ahead and let me know in the chats. And if you're tracking with me, let me know you're tracking with me. I appreciate that. All right. So here's what I want to do. I want to utilize um this bad prompt. And I want to see. I'm gonna switch over to Bard. There we go. I'm gonna switch over to Bard. So hopefully you can't see it right now, but I'm switching over to Bard. All right, there's Bard right there. So can I say yeah, you can. Of course, you can say whatever you want to say. Yeah, you're in between. You're in between. You're in between. What's going on in the train? Hello from James Six Channel. Hey, how are you doing, man? Good to see you here. Good to see you here. All right. Um, and then it's what's going on in here. Great tips. Great tips. I'm in between the two. I found that I get much better results when I give a more specific perspective. In my prompt example, like experience, 100%, hundo, as someone always says. All right. Uh-oh, it's the wrong one. I don't want that one up there no more. There we go. All right, let's do this. I just typed in. This is the quote unquote bad prompt, and I want to see what it gives. I want to see what it gives me. This is Bard. I want to see what it gives me. This is create a 4 episode season for retail leadership. The episodes should be about yada yada yada. Okay, that's not bad. That's not bad. Episode 1, the importance of leadership in retail. Number 2 is the power of teamwork in retail. The importance of customer service in retail. Tips and advice for retail leaders. Here's what I actually kind of like. Is this information here where it says in episode 1, like, what is leadership? It gives you some really good information here, or questions to kind of ask. And if you wanted to, you can actually probably take this information and then um, regenerate, a response, and then actually utilize it to get more information, from this. You could probably go in and say, "Hey, take episode 1 and then give me a episode structure," right? This is kind of a structure a little bit too. What's leadership? What are the skills of a good retail leader? How can leaders motivate and inspire teams? How can leaders create a positive work environment? So it's not really a format, but it gives you some really good questions, some baseline questions to ask. So that the results are, that's not horrible. That's not horrible. But what I want to do is I want to go back to, and I want to put in where are the prompt examples? Here we go. I want to go and I want to put this big dog in here. I want to put the big dog, and I want to see what happens. I want to see what happens. So let me make sure and say hello to some people. Hey Tally. Hey Tally, how are you doing? Good to see you. Good to see you. Good to see you. Yeah, and yeah, okay, yeah, you say you're in between. She says they are not horrible, but they are just sort of boring and textbook. 100 exactly, right? And that's where, and that's what happens, and that's why I say the deeper you go, the more the information sound should will sound like you. So I'm about to put in the the quote unquote good prompt, right? So you see how you already see the level of detail this prompt has. So I want to see. I'm curious. I'm super curious to see what this one is, man. I may use some of this content if I like. Dude, it, oh, hold up, wait a minute. Oh man, oh man, look at this. Hold up for a second. Oh man, if y'all tracking with me, let me know you're tracking with me. So here's a 4-episode season that it gives me. Episode 1 is about team building. Episode 2, customer service. Episode 3 is strategic planning. Episode 4 is engagement, is employee engagement. But look at this. We hope that this season, here are some additional tips and advice for retail leaders. But look at this. Here are some real world example and case studies to illustrate the points, made in each episode. That's actually not bad. That's actually, it's a little more, it's a little more detailed, and it actually does provide more information. However, I still think it's okay. So let's do this. I'm gonna take this. That was Bard. So I'm gonna take this and go over here to ChatGPT, and we're gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna take the quote unquote bad prompt, and I want to see what it kicks. It's already faster. It's already faster. I mean, that right there was like ridiculously fast. And I mean, I don't know if you guys saw the difference, in Bard as it compares to ChatGPT and how it generated information. Fast doesn't necessarily mean good, right? Doesn't necessarily mean good. Here's the thing: it doesn't provide. Here's the here's Bard's, the results from the bat one, right? It just provides the 4. Actually provides some bullet points. ChatGPT, same prompt, but it just provides kind of an overview. We'll discuss da 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 da. Right? It's very and I don't even want to use the word academic, because it's not even academic. It's more like a summary of what you should talk about, which is okay. Well, now it's up to you to probably take one of these episodes and then probably put it in ChatGPT and actually go a little deeper. So let me know if you guys are tracking with me. If you have any questions or anything like that, please go ahead and let me know. And just cool. Let me just make sure. Yeah, ChatGPT is that fast, but needs some tweaking. 100%. You're doing great. Excellent. Good. She's awesome. Thanks, man. I love. I'm loving the head-to-head demo. Excellent. I'm glad you are. Excellent. That's what I wanted to make sure I did. Yeah. And it's generic. Yeah, and it's generic. And it's generic. Let's do this now. So we're gonna take the detailed one, or the good prompt. Yo, I okay. Before I do this, who do you think's gonna win? Who do you think's gonna win? Who do you think's gonna win? Huh? Oops, wrong one. Wrong button. Who do you think is going to win this one? So here are the Bard results from the good prompt. I just type in Bard or ChatGPT. Who's going to win the more detailed good prompt results? I want to know that before I go to ChatGPT. Go ahead and put it in there. There's going to be a little time lag, but I want to know. Once again, these are the results from the good prompt on Bard, which aren't horrible. They're not horrible, but I want to know. Go ahead and put it in there. Say Bard or ChatGPT. I'm going to wait, because I want to know the results. I want to know what you guys are thinking. Says up until this episode, I wasn't that interested in using Bard because I was satisfied with ChatGPT. Not anymore. Okay. All right. All righty. All righty. Are you trying to set a set a pool? Yeah, I know, right? I know. I know. I know. Okay. Oh, Bard. So we got a couple bards. We got a couple bards. Who else out there? I know we got some people just kind of watching. I see you out there, and I appreciate you. If you I'm really interested in what you guys are thinking. We got another bard. We got another bard. Okay, and okay, and then I'm still betting on my ChatGPT subscription. I know, right? I know. Okay. Um, yes, same. Okay. All right. And then we got Bard as well too. So hold on for a second, one more time before we get to that one. I like that Bard gives you 3 drafts. Um, that's what takes up okay, okay, all right, all right, okay, that's what takes it up a notch. So here we go. All right, man. I am I'm just gonna let you know. I am probably gonna be in the uh, uh, I'm thinking I'm gonna maybe in the Chat GPT um like camp, if you want to call it that. I may be in the Chat GPT camp. I'm I need a drum roll or something. I need a drum roll for this one, man. Let me see. That's not a drum roll. And that's the applause. I don't have the applause. All right, here we go. I'm gonna keep that. Um, it's you know what? Holy Nikes! I didn't go over. There we go. My apologies. I'm looking at the screen, and yo, I'm wrong. This is all it generated. This is all it generated. Man, I am wrong. A bigger prompt, a bigger prompt, and it's still all it did was provide something very similar to the smaller prompt. Here's the thing, though. It just did. That's interesting. That's interesting. That is interesting. Drum roll, please. I am using I am using 4. I am using 4. I am using 4. Yes, to see the 3 does takes it takes it up a notch. It does. It does. So look at that. I am somebody put me something in the comments of around the topic that you wanted that you want me to put a prompt in about. I would love to, um, us to probably kind of create or put your own prompt in the comments. I know I'm asking you to type. I told you well, she is a professor, so she knows that's the old professor in me. I'm like, I'm gonna make you work a little bit. I know you live stream. You just came to get some content and stuff like that. You probably in your bed, chilling and stuff like that. People, but there are the results. I am not impressed. I am not impressed with ChatGPT on this one. Maybe my prompt is wrong because I am really kind of giving it more text, more context, and maybe not an actual task. Maybe that's it. I could be wrong. Maybe if I had said create first or generate, maybe that's something that I could have probably done differently. I don't know if that's the case or not. It could be. It could be something very similar as well too. So Cher says, copy one of those episode options and ask it to break down an episode. Okay, all right, I like that one. I like that idea too. And then you can write. Make the response. Okay, agreed, agreed. And okay, let's do that then. Let's do that. Let's do that. I like that. I like that idea. I like that idea. So I'm still in Chat GPT, and I should be able to just do it right here too. Make the last results is a results or response um longer and more detailed um and provide a structure episode structure. So this is how I typically kind of create and put stuff in here too. Let's just see. I don't know. I'm just gonna put a little something simple in here. There we go. It's a little better. But so it took episode 4. So it kind of killed two birds with one stone. Cher was saying to um ask it to put an episode in there, ask it to break it down. And it said just ask it to make the response longer. So I just said make the last response um longer and then provide an episode structure. So there you go. If I probably said put an episode structure into the actual prompt, which is what I typically do. If I'm doing something with like an article or an outline or something like that, hey, create this da 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 da, and then put these pieces in there too. And what I do is I will take some of my content that I've created and I'm like, hey, put this into an article. Hey, put this into a LinkedIn post. Hey, put this into and so and so. And then what it does, it will take the content and actually put it in that post. Let's actually do that real quick too. Let's make sure here we got your prompt is good, Steve. ChatGPT is good when you take details from its suggestions and ask it to expand X, Y, and Z. Agreed. Excellent. Use both. Use both rather than either alone. Their database source is different, and that opens you up to different thought processes. 100%. 100%. There's just prescription money right there. Did I say prescription? I meant subscription money. Yeah, true indeed. True indeed. Yeah, and then let's just do this. Let's just do this. What time is it, man? Oh man, I'm always late. I'm always late. Um, make a short, informative. Um, so short and concise for me are two different words. Concise LinkedIn LinkedIn post about the above podcast episode from a seasoned podcaster perspective. I don't know. That's all I got. That's all I got. And let's just see what happens. So that's the episode. It gives you, and here's employee engagement is crucial. Da 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 da. I probably wouldn't. Here's the one thing I do like about this one is that it gives you, and somebody can tell me about the hashtag game if it's still a thing or not. I still use hashtags, but it gives you hashtags and stuff like that at the bottom, typically. And what I typically do is I extract this and then I actually put it like either in a Word doc or I put it in a notes and I just extrapolate it out. And I'm like, okay, that doesn't sound like me. No, I'm not going to be, employee engagement is crucial for success. Yeah, I understand, but that doesn't sound like Steve. So I'll take it out and actually do and kind of doctor it up. It gave me a really good baseline, but now I need to actually put it into my own terms as well too. I would have done it from a season. Oh, what did I say? Podcaster. Oh, that's right. My bad. Yeah, I did say. Yep. Okay, that's true. And yep. Yeah. I meant. Yeah. That's good. That's a good point. That's a good point. Hashtags are still recommended on LinkedIn. 3 to 7 max. Three to seven max. 3 to 7 max. Yeah, interesting. Interesting results. Interesting results. Um, I'm telling you, at the end of the day, at the end of the day, and I hope you enjoyed and got some got some value out of the comparison, because I think it showed you what you can do differently. Okay, man. See, now I got to go down a rabbit hole. I got to go down a rabbit hole. I'm sorry. Now I got to do Bard. I got to do the same thing with Bard, right? I did it with ChatGPT, so I got to do it with Bard um around the LinkedIn thing. I'm sorry. I got to do it from a seasoned. Well, I'm gonna. It has to be apples for apples, apples to apples. So I gotta keep it podcast to share. So that way I don't mess up the sample. That's the um old MBA student in me coming out. All right, let's see what happens. I actually like this one a lot better. Into wow, tip 4 title. It even gives you a title. 4 tips for retail leaders. mm, mm. Man, oh man. It then gives you a call to action. All right, man. I'm glad I did this. I'm glad I did this results, man. I'm glad I did this results. I'm glad. I'm so glad I did that one. Can you ask it to rewrite it in the conversational? Yes, 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 yes. I really like I really like how these tools open up the rabbit hole opportunities, and they do. I think that's a good thing. Um, this is great. I really love the idea around using both. 100%, 100%, 100%. You glad? Yeah. I had to, right? It kind of forced me. I was like, oh God, I gotta make sure I do that one. But look, I mean, the results are just I like this one. I like the results. So yeah, Equip Institute and is 100% correct around being able to try to generate and use both to get to get your ideas kind of across too, and tally. Yeah, really good rabbit hole. Um, I tell you, that's what happens though, right? When you have to understand, that at the end of the day. Hold up, Tally had something to say real quick. I want to make sure before I get on my horse. Um, I never bothered about Bard. I'll check it out. Yeah, go ahead and check it out. Go ahead and check it out. You know what? I know what you meant. I know what you meant. No worries, no worries. Um, yeah, ChatGPT comes up for me real quick. I got it on my little taskbar. I don't have Bard on my taskbar, or toolbar, whatever you want to call it. But after today, it's going on. And guys, I honestly haven't used Bard that much, and so just like any good podcaster or live streamer, you should be learning. You should be learning yourself. I am not an expert on these things, and so I'm an expert on a lot of stuff, but Bard and this one I am not. And so for me, it was I was learning myself, and honestly, this episode, this live stream could probably be a lot longer because my head now wants to go down so many other rabbit holes with this content, and trying to figure out what I can generate, right? But here's the thing, and I wanted to close with this. You you can generate, and I said this, and I actually put this my good buddies James Hicks and Chris Stone were doing a live stream the other day, and they were talking about AI and content creation. It was a really, really good episode. And I put something in the chat around you can generate as much content as you want from these. But at the end of the day, you have to be the one to deliver it, right? And it has to be in your voice, right? And if it's not in your voice, it doesn't matter how good the content is, right? It just doesn't matter. If it doesn't sound like you, if it's not delivered with heart, if it's not delivered with your own voice, not just your physical voice, right? But your actual voice and how you articulate things, communicate things, and your audience can see and they can hear it. So we can utilize these, these tools, because that's exactly what they are, for as long as we possibly can, for as many ideas and content as we want. But at the end of the day, it is all about you as the content creator and how you take the information, utilize it to help your audience so that your audience can get a better perspective on whatever it is that you're trying to help them with. Period. If you don't do that, then it doesn't matter what AI system you use. It just doesn't matter. It is all about you and the content and what you deliver. I hope you enjoyed today. These Saturday live trainings have been awesome. They've been growing, and next week, I got something special lined up for next week. I'm not gonna tell you, but it's pretty cool. You'll probably learn a little bit more about it like later on this week. But make sure you don't miss any of these Saturdays. If you are interested in a topic, or there's something that you want to learn a little bit more about, whether it's from live streaming or podcasting, let me know, and I will do my research and put together, a structured, show. I typically over prepare for these things just because my mindset is the way that it is. But if there's an idea, if you're looking at this on, the replay, or if you guys are, down the line, you're like, oh snap, I want to know a little bit more about this. Please make sure you go ahead and put that in the chat, or in the comments. I regularly go back and look at all of, the comments. And honestly, if you are a content creator and if you are doing live streams, or you're doing like a live podcast, or you're doing a video, right? The content is in the comments. The content is in the comments. It certainly is. So enjoy the rest of your Saturday. Have a great Saturday. I really appreciate you guys for being here, and I will see you next week. Have a great day. God bless.